Member for Toronto Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker, and again to the Acting Premier. During the election campaign, the Premier promised that his ideological plan would not cost anything. Now we see that it will add billions to the debt without changing costs to households. Will the minister now admit that the Premier was wrong?
Deputy Premier. Minister of the Environment.
This is only awkward because it's getting ahead of our lob questions. So, Mr. Speaker, again, and we'll talk about this all day in this legislature, when the NDP talks about government money, they don't seem to appreciate that that's people's money. That's taxpayers' money. That's money for businesses. When we understand that that money comes out of the pockets of hardworking taxpayers, when people are making choices between heating and eating, we will focus on the fact that those people need that money, that they can spend that money better than the government. So we're happy to talk about it all day. $3 billion back in people's pockets, and this is a government that will keep its promises. We said that we would cut this tax. We cut this tax.
Supplementary.
Speaker, the Financial Accountability Officer was clear today. The government will add $3 billion to the debt, scrapping programs and paying expensive lawyers. The families will be paying an even higher carbon price, and Ontario has no climate plan. Only this government could spend $3 billion to not have a plan. Does the acting premier think that's something to be proud of?
Minister of the Environment.
Hard to follow the NDP logic.
Mr. Speaker, $264 may not be a lot of money to the NDP. That's $264 that goes back into the pockets. Now, they've talked about the federal carbon plan. I'd love to go into detail about that. Their party talked about a higher carbon tax, even than Trudeau. But our party understands that money best spent is in people's pockets. We will bring forward a plan, a Made in Ontario plan, a plan that deals with the real issues, that balances the economy and the environment, and that doesn't punish Ontario families. Why does the NDP want to punish Ontario families?
Final supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Here's what the Financial Accountability Officer found. There will be no savings for households. There will be $3 billion added to the debt, and the province has no plan to deal with climate change. At a time when we need leadership, the government has delivered a $3 billion mess. When are they going to admit that they were wrong?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wish if the member was going to quote the FAO, he would quote the page number. So let me do that. On page 10, the elimination of cap and trade will save $1.3 billion this year alone. On page 3, a typical household will save $264. He further confirms, and this has been a question in this House, on page 13, the money collected for cap and trade will be spent on programs to meet the purpose of the Act to fight climate change. We've been clear, Mr. Speaker. We will wind this program down in a responsible way. We will bring forward a Made in Ontario plan that balances the economy and the environment. We made this promise. We intend to keep it.